Right, so this is the other bike. This is another idea I've been playing recently. Well, first of all, I bought the bike for training because luckily the guy who trained me said now you cannot progress much more on a big bike as skills goes because it's too heavy. And some of the stupid techniques, or well, not stupid techniques, but very important techniques, you have to learn them on a small bike, and you have to get yourself a dirt bike. It's like, all right, fair enough, I get myself a dirt bike. The problem is, I've tested. Why is the phone shaking? That's not my hand. Anyways, I've tested my friend's Yamaha WR450 2023 model or 22. Anyways, I bloody hated the thing. I absolutely could not ride it. It was way too small, too snatchy, too aggressive. I don't know. It just felt like a mountain bike with a very aggressive motor in between, and it was just too sketchy. I don't know why. Because well, I know why. Because when you come back from a big twin bike, 200 kilograms, that weight dampers everything. Everything is it acts like a muffler to everything. So it's just I think it's just easier to ride the big bikes. The smaller bikes they're not easy. They're actually more difficult. It's just that the small bikes they have way higher limit than the big bikes. I think that's the explanation. So, and I was very upset because I thought, well, if I can do that stuff on a big bike, if I jump on a small bike, which is way more capable, I'll be riding like God. And no, it went completely opposite. I was absolutely crap at it, and I hated it. I was like, oh, fuck this shit. Now for me, it's just bullshit, blah, 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 piece of crap. No. But then again, I convinced myself, like, yeah, you need a dirt bike because you need to train. And stop throwing the T7 big bike, around bushes, rocks, and other stuff because you keep abusing a bike and, it's not going to end well. You have to start training with something that is designed for it. And yeah, wasn't long. I spent a day on this thing. First half a day, it was a nightmare. I absolutely hated it. The second half of the day, I started to kind of understand the bike, just let it flow, stop trying to ride it like a big bike, and it actually started to go better. And the second half of the day, like at the end of it, I absolutely loved it, the thing. All it took is one day. And I'll tell you something. Another thing was that when I was going back home on the road, twisty roads, with a friend of mine, he was still on a T7, I say to him, I do understand how people manage to go around the world on these things. Because for me, it was crazy to go on a dirt bike around the world. I do get it, and I think I could do it. So I started playing with this idea. Obviously, we went off-roading, we went some, enduro training, enduro fun with people, with friends, and then forest ride and all that stuff. This thing is amazing. This is another level. I never gonna get rid of this thing because this is such a it's not even a toy. It's like a kind of like a serious toy. I was very skeptical about reliability. I was skeptical about, it's gonna. I don't know. It looks fragile. It looks small and light. But then you look closer to the frame, which is built in. This is chromoly frame. The headstock is actually this section is looks actually stiffer and bigger than it is 7. It's hefty, is strong. Everything is designed for racing, and everything is just good. And the light, well, lightness is probably the key of this thing. The geometry, first I say this is very sketchy, very twist, not twist. Is like how can I say? It's like way too responsive by game because I was coming back from the big bike. But now I know how to ride it is absolutely beautiful and is very stable. To my surprise, if you apply the right technique, you don't force the bike, this thing is stable. So all of that bullshit obviously not gonna tell you because who has their bikes is like yeah we know, stop the bollocks. What are you up to with this stuff? Why there are panniers on this stuff? Why there is an after or screen on the front that doesn't belong to the dirt bike? Well, it doesn't, but it does. So this is not an enduro bike. This is a cross-country motorcycle. There are small differences. There are three differences between three models of Husqvarna this year. The 350s. There is FC, which is 4-stroke motocross bike. There's FE 4-stroke enduro bike, and FX. This is the one which is a 4-stroke cross country. Now, cross country differs. Is a mixture between those two. It has the motor that comes from the motocross engine, so it's the most powerful one. It's incredibly powerful, and revs to the motor like 13,500 RPMs. It's incredible. Honestly, it's Formula One engineering. Nearly, it's crazy. Not to my liking. I don't actually like that fact. I prefer slightly lower revving engines. But then when you start using this properly, it shows you how wide the power band is, and it's like the revs never ends. You don't have to change the gear if you're not in a position of doing that for some reasons. So it's good. The only thing is on the road, maybe that's not. I don't know. I need to discover this motor massively. Now the gearbox changes, I think, from the FC. I think this is a little different ratio. It's still close ratio gearbox, not wide ratio gearbox as a FE. Again, this is information I read on the internet, so take it with the pinch of salt. But I think this is the first gear is slightly taller, which is not really good for all technical single trials, but it's doable. And that's it. Suspensions are different. This house obviously already has a good suspension because hey, it's me, so suspensions have to be good. The rear has been rebuilt and modified. The front forks are not original. These are actually from the oldest model, but they have been built brand new, and I have them brand new. Cross cartridge, blah blah. They're very good, and not air suspensions, because FX comes with the motocross suspension, which is air suspensions. You pump them with the pump. It doesn't matter. It's not on this bike. Let's not talk about that. So this is not actually ideal bike for what I'm trying to do, besides the powerful engine. So the close ratio gearbox maybe is not ideal for what I want to do, but maybe it is. I don't know. Who cares? I'm not as good at this to even feel so much of a difference. The only thing I have to change the ratio on the sprocket still. So I'm trying to do is see how these people do adventure on the small bikes, because with all this vibe, all this proper bang that you need a twin big comfortable motorcycle to travel and have adventures, which let's say it this way, I'm a victim of that convention as well, which again, you see my T7, I spent so much money on it and absolutely love the motorcycle. But the moment the stuff gets quite hard, enduro and off-road, they're very capable, don't take me wrong. These are very capable, these way more capable. But even at the same level of capability, can you say that? Yeah, same level of capability, this is 3 times easier. The stuff I do with this, there's no drama. As for the T7, on the T7 you kind of need more skills. Let's say the same amount of skills that I have, not much, but gets me places. This is just some wet downhill routes, slick, rocky, all the stuff. T7, you're on your toes. This, that's it. That was it. All right. Up the hills, obviously climbing and all that stuff. And again, T7 is very capable. The stuff you can do, you can get quite close to what these can do at my kind of skills levels. We're not talking portales. We're not talking people who are, only a few of them in the world. We're talking normal people, normal mortals. So T7 is capable, but this is just way more and it's much easier. And if something goes wrong, consequences with this, 99% of the time is a huge laugh. I said, you're laughing your teeth out. When the stuff goes wrong with the T7, I'm going back home with a very, very hurt back, because when that thing drops, it's 200 kilograms dropping on whatever part of the motorcycle it drops. The handlebar, the nafta, the tail, the sides, the plastics, the stuff damages quicker and crushes quicker. And if it drops on you, tough love. and if it goes in a ditch, you have to dig it out. And if you're just riding along and you get yourself into a situation where half the tires are on the mud, yeah, good luck with that. This is just love, it's just easy. So why don't we use these as adventure motorcycles? Well, if you know really people who actually travel the world like proper, they actually don't do it on the big bikes. And if they do, then don't actually venture too much off-road. And the people who do, which I would be one of those, let's say last year, I would do it, they have a hard time. So I'm watching the videos where people actually travel on the big bikes and trying to do hard enduro, not hard enduro, but kind of harder off-road, trying to venture, like proper adventure stuff in the forest when there's no tracks or no roads. And more often than not, they have to come back. When with this, it's rarely that you have to come back. These are so capable. It's like you don't really have to be careful on how to choose where you go, where you're not to go, especially if you ride alone. If I'm riding alone with this, I don't think there is a limit to say, I'm not going to try that, I'm not going to try this, because there's always a way to come back, there's always a way to get the bike out, there's always a way to go through, or up or down or whatever, down the hills. I mean, you can drop this nearly vertical, up the hills nearly vertical, if you're good enough. Same level of skills on the T7. If you're alone, you're thinking twice on choosing your paths and where you want to adventure or not. And that is a huge limitation. That is the only downside to that T7. And this is why the T7 is now not doing any competition, not doing anything more stupid, but more adventure stuff. Adventure stuff with the pecs for my missus, pecs for my daughter, and we're gonna go out camping, off-road, yes, absolutely, it's a very capable bike, lanes, but nothing too crazy, nothing too adventurous. If I wanna go with my mates or alone, with something more pure adventure orientated, this one 100%, unless I'm gonna change this for the 500, because this is what people usually do, the 500s. Now, I'm not scared to convert this into adventure bike, which doesn't take much. It's still the same bike, These panniers, Krieger 36, this is exactly the same I have on a T7. Actually, these are the ones, and they fit perfectly. Small modifications. I mean, it doesn't really take much. It really doesn't. And they fit perfectly. They're solid, they're good. Tools back, you got everything you can have it. And the beauty is I can run mousses. I'm not scared to run mousses on this bike because it's such a light bike. And also, I can run these proper enduro tires, Michelin Enduro mediums, because this bike doesn't chew the tires as much as a T7. On a T7, you have a couple of days and they're gone. This lasts ages in comparison. And I can run mousses, no problem. So no need of tubes. I know mousses are not road legal, theoretically, but I don't understand why, because if you take care of them, they take care of you. I never had the problems with them. So that's not a positive. They consume very little fuel. You add a slightly bigger fuel tank or whatever, you can do whatever you want. Naphtha is exactly the same. I mean, same stuff. I don't do anything more than I did on a T7. The only thing, this obviously didn't have any attachments on the frames. So you have to get these clamps the various companies sell, but me, I just welded actually the same tabs that I have on a T7. So whatever naphtha I have on a T7, I can put it here, and vice versa. My levers, just in case. The lights, same as on a T7. This makes the night into the day. It's too big for now because the FX has a very small capacity of generator, so I need a slightly bigger generator and a rectifier to support, because this is too. I mean, you can turn it on for a moment to pass someone or whatever, but not for a long time. These, on the other hand, they're very good. Most of the time they are enough, and they can run all day long, which they don't work anymore because something's wrong with the wiring, because I've done it very, very temporarily. I've done a wiring for the lights, but all of that stuff needs to disappear. I need to do it proper on an after. And that's it. Again, this, because you can transfer it all along. I've got the ICO for the rallies and all the stuff, and the speed. So you have to connect it. I rerouted the brake line same way the rally bikes have. So it's out the way of anything, because usually this goes up here, makes a giant loop, but then it will hit this when you steer, and it's just not practical when you remove obviously the normal enduro setup. So rally bikes using this way, and that's what I've done. I still got the original ones, I can swap them around when needed, but that's it. Other than that, the bike is very easy to live with. I know people complain about, yeah, but 20 hours and you have to change the oil. Well, not really. If you use it normally for adventure, that's on the extreme use on the competition. And to be honest, it's so quick and easy. It's almost a pleasure to do it, because the moment you change the oil, you go over the bike, you check the filter, you change the air filter, you oil filter, you oil, check your nuts. It's only very couple things. Few engine mounts, only a few bolts to check, and it's good to go around it. Just take care of your bike will take care of you. It's very simple. So far I love it. I like it very much. I've changed my sprocket to 14 tooth, the front one, but I left the rear one at 50 tooth, and I just came to know that these come with a 45 tooth rear sprocket and 14 front sprocket. So this is actually shorter than the original gearings, which the shorter it is, the better it goes when you go off-road, but on the road obviously is not that great. So with this gearing I was able to do comfortably, I would say 60, maybe 65 miles an hour on the road as the engine goes, comfortable vibrations engine, RPMs, because you have to guess, there's no RPMs gauge. All I have is actually I had in the reserve and injection and engine management light, call it this way. I love them. All my bikes, they have them. So, if I put a 45 tooth rear sprocket, that's kind of equivalent to another tooth on a front sprocket. And that will get me at least easily 75 miles an hour speeds on the road for the comfort of the engine. And this has been confirmed with people that travel on the 500s. Now 500s, they don't have the same RPMs capability, because they stop revving at 11,000 RPMs, 9.5, around 10, but they are much more torquey on lower RPMs. They much smoother motors. This fuck is aggressive. So this is what I'm saying. I may switch to the 500, but I want to try to live with this first. As my comfort, as a rider comfort, you can't compare this to the T7, obviously. T7 is absolutely blast, is beautiful, motorways and all the stuff, you chew everything off. But doesn't mean this is uncomfortable. It's not comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable. There's nothing to moan about. And this is what I like, because you don't really have to give up on something very important like a big comfort, well, being uncomfortable for the off-road capability and not having the limits off-road. Not even the capabilities, but not having the limits and the ease and the little risks you're doing that stuff against the big bikes. This is the big difference. And that's why I really want to exploit this and see how far I can get. Again, luggage, this, that, tent on the back, pretty much as a T7, maybe something on the front, so you can transport almost as much stuff as an T7. Obviously the bike being is lighter and smaller, you will feel the weight of your stuff more than on a T7, obviously, but you're still way below 150 kilograms in total. When on a T7 with all the stuff, you're going way over 230 kilograms. So, it's a big difference. You got 100 kilograms of difference, no matter what you see, no matter how you pack it. So, this, even with being a little more top heavy on the back, which is the worst case scenario, not really good, it's still gonna be way more capable than a T7 off-road, so no limits there. As the seat goes, strangely, this is the original seat, I'm not uncomfortable. Maybe because I'm not too heavy and my ass doesn't have to support much weight. I don't know. I don't find it too bad. Although I only done, what, 40 minutes riding, so it's very too soon to say anything. I've done longer, I've done about an hour, I think, no, I've done an hour and a half in total once on a dual carriageway, and it wasn't too bad. But I've done it on the 1350 gearing, and that was killing me. So I think with the 45 2-spoke on the back, this should be very comfortable on the road and still decent off-road. Technical stuff will be too long as the gearings, but you can still manage to do, kind of general off-roading very comfortable. I think I'm gonna test it and try it. As an after goes, nah, this is a disaster. I mean, it holds everything here. I like the way it looks. It holds my lights, but I've done it quick. I haven't done any shapes, funny shapes or anything nice, just quickly, as you can see, as an experiment. But this may even work, because when I sit far back and I lower my head a little, it's okay. When my head is roughly there, when my head is there, when you're riding normally, this does fuck all, really, literally nothing. And I'm suspecting because it's too sharp or too low or whatever, like too straight going up, and it's just not doing in time to deflect the air from my helmet, and I got loads of buffering on my helmet, loads. I don't like it. On a T7, my screen is not much taller than this, and it protects me beautiful, but I think because it's much further forward, this is why when I'm sitting on this bike for the back, this thing starts working. But when I'm sitting here, it doesn't work. So next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna order the same screen they use on Husky and KTMs in a Dakar, which is quite enclosed. It's much further forward. It has a funny shape. It encloses on the sides, and it has that small bend on the top, like I have on my T7. So this was a waste of time, to be honest. It may look good to someone, or may not, but it just doesn't work. Simple. I hate it. It was a waste of time, so I have to redesign it. The navigation will have to be in this place, because this just clears everything, so it has to be in this position. The only thing is, I may bring a little bit down, closer to the handlebars, maybe, but maybe not, because then when you sit in, your head is here. When you stand and your head is there and you're looking forward, you don't want to glance too much down to see anything on the navigation. You want to just glance it quickly with your eyes, not to move the helmet. So, again, all small things. I know I'm a perfectionist, but again, remember this stuff. I don't need to build all this crap. You can ride whatever. Me being me, I love engineering. I like making stuff probably more than actually using it. You even noticed with the T7, once I finished it, I was like, there's nothing more to do. I sell it now because it's boring. Use it. Yeah, no, it's perfect now. I don't know what else to do. And then I fell in love again with it when I actually transferred the plastics to that T7. So I changed the ergonomics again. I changed the look of the bike, and I fell in love with the bike again. And that was all to make me feel in love with it. And then because it changes, I can improve the stuff. If there is nothing much more to improve, I get bored. Then I sell the stuff. I get another piece of crap and improve it again. It's a curse. I know it's stupid, and every time I promise myself I'm not do it again, but it's been over 25 years. I can't say it's me. It is what it is. I find a huge joy of it. Finding the flows, finding all the stuff, and trying to improve it, experimenting with the NAFTA. Supposed to work, but it didn't. Now I have more knowledge, I can do it better, and all that stuff. Although this, the dirt bike, it feels like I could have these for the rest of my life. It's something about them. I can't explain it yet, but there is something into them. I really like it. It's just the way you live with them, the way they live with you. I don't know. I really want to exploit this fact of going like wild camping for 2, 3, 4 days, just exploring, and I don't know. I want to do it. I want to explore this. I'm very curious of this. There must be a reason why all these people going around the world, like proper adventure stuff, they all do it on the dirt bikes, and usually on the 500s. 350 is still okay. people still want F350s, but 500, I guess it will live longer. And it's easier to ride because it's smoother on engine. Anyways, bit of rubbish talking. Now that's enough, because now I have to remove all of this crap and make a video about that subframe. Today Steve is coming down, we're gonna put it on the car, gonna show everything, and then we may actually put it on Steve's car, and then we have to make another two, because two of them are already, haven't even launched them yet properly, and already pre-ordered it, and both of them going to America, surprisingly not. Most of our customers for some reason are from US. It is what it is. Anyway, see you soon. What a beauty, eh?